There I was at a soup kitchen, Salvation Army, with my family in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And my parents had my brother and I at the soup kitchen serving, giving back. And that's what we learned from them, the power of giving back. Fast forward to 25 years later, I decided to write a book called What Could I Be? STEM Careers from A to Z. And what was that? Me taking what I've learned and being able to allow kids to be able to learn from what I've done and been able to become that career itself. And so I've learned the power of serving and been able to give back to the kids. I heard the sound, beep, beep, beep. And then I looked around and I saw my mom, who was in shock. I then saw my brother, my aunt, and my cousin, all in shock, all because my father had passed away. I was numb. I actually was sitting on the bedside when he passed away. Didn't know what to do, but I realized the value of having a father. I was that daddy's girl. He taught me so much. Matter of fact, let's go back to when I was getting my license, that driver's license. My dad took me to go get my driver's license. We drove a new car to the place, but found out that new car, I couldn't pass the exam. I was so distraught being at 16 back home in Winston-Salem with my dad. But you know what? He said, Tiffani, be anxious for nothing. And I've lived with that throughout my life. He would constantly say, be anxious for nothing. So I was so excited and discouraged, but he taught me, be anxious for nothing. And I've been able to carry that with me for the rest of my life. And so I'm so thankful as a daddy's girl to go through that and be able to take that away from my experiences in life by having him. I was sitting in class, 9th grade class back in Winston-Salem, and I was in math class. My teacher started yelling at me. Why? I started asking questions. I am that girl in the front of the classroom asking questions. And she yelled at me. So of course I went home and I told my mom. My mom did not like that at all. So she went up to the school, talked to the teacher and told her, Tiffani can ask as many questions as she wants because she can be anything she wants to be. And this is what she's going to be when dealing with math. And so she can ask as many questions she wants. And the teacher said, oh, I was having a bad day. But despite that, my mom told her, regardless, she can ask as many questions she wants. And this showed the fact that I know the importance of believing in myself. Believing yourself is one of those takeaways from it, because the fact that no one's going to tell you what you can do or not do, and that's the importance of it. And because they might be having a bad day, regardless, believe in yourself because it's important and no one else should be able to take that away from you. And so that was my lessons learned of believing in yourself. If there was one thing I could tell myself, my 21-year-old self, it would be to know that if you believe it, you can achieve it. Going back to when I was back in college days at UNC Charlotte, getting my engineering degree, I was partying. I was a resident advisor and trying to get my studies, and it was challenging. So I had that call from my mom, who called me and said, Tiffani, you need to get it together. You are trying to graduate. You know what you are there to do, and that's to graduate. So giving some examples of cherishing the moment is one thing I would say. Definitely I would tell myself at 21. I look back at when I was in college. There was a moment, like I said, I was partying. That next day, my dad called. And I think about the fact that when he called, I yelled at him. And that's one thing I think I regret. I know I regret, because it was that moment when he stopped calling and turned over the phone to my mom. And that's when I knew things had changed. And I never wanted to do that. And so cherish the moment, we got better, but it took some time from that. So cherish the moment because you never know what might happen. Another thing is spend less than you do as far as your money. That was one of the lessons as far as one of the things I would take away with being 21. You get the refund checks from different things as far as that back then, but they're really not refunds because you got to pay it back. So think about debt, getting out of debt. If I look back at things, I would definitely say, try not to spend as much and try to save more. And then finally, believe in yourself. That would be another takeaway. You know, being in engineering in college and stuff, there were people who doubted me. But regardless of that, I believed in myself and I said, no, they don't know me. They don't know my capabilities. And so from that, I would say, looking back at 21, believe in yourself. So cherish the moments. Don't spend more than you have to, as well as believe in yourself would be the 21, at 21, what I would look back at doing. Many times there are challenges when it comes to publishing. And many people think they know what they're doing when it comes to publishing a book. I am a children's book author, and I've seen some of the many mistakes that people and authors, aspiring authors, have tried to do. Many of the mistakes are they try to do it themselves and not know where they need to go. They don't know their target audience. They spend more than they need to as far as knowing the process, and then just throwing out anything and not knowing if that's who they want to be able to do. So those are many of the problems that I've seen. But I've had a client, for example, who says she's seen me in action. She's seen all the things that I've done as far as getting the business itself of publishing. And when she talked to me, I talked to her through an interview. She says, I want to do those same things. And so I know from my abilities and supernatural powers as far as that I know how to break things down. And I think that's the key part that I think my clients have learned, because being able to take one big thing and thinking you could publish, but then breaking it down and bringing them into different systems, I think has been the biggest part of why they've not decided to go with others and decided to go with me. And so from that, I've been able to help with solving them solutions of not having to deal with not knowing where they need to go, but making sure that we meet the needs of them. So if I have big dreams, as far as big dreams, thinking about it, I would say I would ideally get a building hub that's all about those systems that I'm trying to do. It could be virtually, but then it's also in the building of a big Inspired Authors Publishing hub where now I'm helping others, breaking down the systems and knowing that I'm the right person, my company's the right person to be able to get to where they need to get successfully, from launching to writing a book to publishing the book and all of that, and marketing it and making sure it's profitable. And I think that's the key part when you talk about meeting those needs of the customer. Why do people hire our company, Inspired Authors Publishing? Well, when it comes to those challenges of publishing, our company helps with writing, being able to make sure that they publish, that they're marketing, and it's profitable. That is why they hire our company. Now, let me tell you an example of some things that they can take away by doing this, by coming to my company. They have peace of mind knowing that they have somebody who's looking out for them. I love to be able to break down and make sure they know the process. I walk them through the process. And that is one of the things I know is key. A lot of them try to skip and fast forward. But the thing is, they have peace of mind that they're working with somebody who knows what they're doing. They know that it's accountability that's coming to them. And they know that they're going to get something that's going to help them at the end and make them profitable. And so those are the things I think would be, it takes a burden off of them. And so the reason I know this is because I have clients. I'll tell you one. One client came to me and said, Tiffani, I want to make sure I publish a book that's going to be successful. And when she did that, I said, I got you. And she says, I've done some interviews with other people. I've been able to go and see and research, but something about you, your company, it tells me that I do no longer have to worry. I know that you're going to deliver something. And I've seen the work that you've done, and I want my book to be the same. And so having those type of conversations with my clients who then see the results of what they've been able to do and be successful in making an impact through children's books and everything, I know, and many of the clients know, why they should work with my company, Inspired Authors Publishing. What have I enjoyed most about working with Media Expertise? The genuine side of them, the authenticity of it. They worked me, Shay Brown, worked with me to make sure that I was able to tell my story. You know, going through that journey, I didn't even know where I was going to go with it, but it made me go deep inside and be able to tell my story. Many people think they know me, but they don't. Now they're going to be able to know me from a different side of things. And so I want to thank Media Expertise for just taking the opportunity. The production, I feel so special. All of it was great. And so I'm just thankful for the opportunity to be able to work with Media Expertise. They are great, and I highly recommend them.